Hi, welcome to Mission Driven Monday. Today I'm here with my friend Sophia Watson, and Sophia is I think you just had a birthday, so you're 19.
I did, yeah.
19-year-old writer, actress, and model that lives here in the Atlanta area. And fun fact, she also lives 3 doors down from me. And our daughters actually went to school together when they were in the 5th grade, and they've been friends for a few years now. So it's been fun to watch Sophia kind of grow up, and I've seen all the interesting things that she has done. Unlike other kids her age who are just kind of, hanging out by the pool, which she does some of that. Sophia also, she writes manuscripts, and she has a short film that she's entered into film festivals across the country, and she just always kind of has a pen and paper, and she's always working on something. In addition to that, she has lots of other talents. For several years, my younger daughter actually attended a little cooking camp that Sophia started for kids in the neighborhood. So she has lots of loves and lots of things that you like to do. And I know just one of your big things is just make the world a better place, and you're doing that every day.
Well, thank you.
So thank you for meeting me here. So every week we start off just by really asking the same 3 questions to women, and love these questions because I feel like it really gives us a sense of our past, present, and future. And you're one of the youngest women that I've ever interviewed. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing your perspective on some of these questions.
Hey, can't wait to answer them.
Yeah, well, good. All right, so you're welcome. We're going to jump right in. Sophia, I know you're only 19, but when you look back over your 19 years, what do you really look back on as your proudest accomplishment?
Right off the bat, I want to say my short film is kind of, my proudest accomplishment, I guess. Of course, I didn't do it by myself. I wrote the script, but and I was in it, but I couldn't have done it without the rest of my crew, without the rest of our actors and all that. So I came up with the story.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't do it by myself.
Well, I think that's one of the interesting things about everything that we do. I mean, whenever I interview somebody and they tell me about something they did, that is a common theme. Like, I didn't do it by myself. Like, I had people around me. And I think that's something important to remember, is that we need people around us. Like, you're right, it was your idea and you did put it together, and that's huge and you should be proud of that. But also I'm glad that you said that about having the people around you.
Oh yeah. I think it was probably our last day of filming. It might have been our second to last day of filming, actually. It was our second to last. We had 3 days of filming, so it was the middle day. Mm-hmm. They were filming one of the scenes outside, and I wasn't in it, so I was watching it on the monitor and everything. Yeah. And I just came inside and started sobbing. And my mom was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it just looks exactly like I pictured it. I'm just so thankful that they're helping me do this." And our director was amazing. She had so many. She's just amazing. She had everything she did with it, how she directed it, how it was just laid out, how she ran the set. She's just phenomenal. Jenna Cannell, I love her. But yeah, she just made that shot so perfect. It's exactly like I pictured it, like writing it on my computer at 3 a.m. by myself in my room. And it was just surreal to see it in real life.
Cool.
So yeah.
Well, I love that you said that, because I bet it really was surreal to see something that you created and watching it come to life. And I'm glad that you had that scene where you were able to step outside of it. So often we don't get to do that.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. I was glad I wasn't in all the scenes, so I could like watch it. Yeah, it's I don't know how much you know about it, or if you've seen the trailer or whatever, but it's about this writer who's writing a story about this girl, and it kind of focuses on her story. He's writing about it, and it's how she's getting bullied, really cyberbullied, and that's why it's called #slut. I know that's kind of a controversial name. I had some people not let their kids be extras in it because of the name, but it's
wow.
But it's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like taking the name back, it's like, well, it's for anti-bullying, but like it's kind of but
well, yeah, well, I think that it's interesting because when I heard the name actually originally that you said, I was like, well, I don't know if I can like
put that on.
Like I don't know if I can post about this on social media and such because of the name. But I think that you are right in that you were like, that's the point of it. Like, this is something we don't want to talk about. We don't want to say this stuff out loud, but these are the kinds of things that are being said in private and that are really hurtful.
You're right. Yeah, it's kind of why I decided to name it that. It's, I guess, taking the name back is what it's kind of designed to do, just because in the short, she's being cyberbullied, and that's what the caption of one of the pictures posted of her. I can't give away, obviously, but like, is #slut, and she is being bullied, and because she's being bullied, she's vulnerable, and she gets taken advantage of by this guy in a position of power. And at the end, it ties her story and the writer's story together, kind of like a plot twist ending, I guess.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, so I liked that because I wasn't in all the scenes, because it also focused on the writer sometimes, so I got to kind of watch the behind those scenes.
Yeah, well, different perspectives. I think that's one of the challenges of being a writer, right, is getting in the heads of all your different characters.
Oh, yeah, it is for sure. Especially, I feel like script writing, especially, I mean, I'm sure for all writing, I've never written, like a book, so I can't say for sure, but for script writing, it's especially challenging because you have all the different characters always speaking. They're like, it is predominantly lines speaking, while book writing is mostly, not mostly, but also description, and script writing isn't as much description as it is just talking.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, I actually wrote the feature length of the short film first, and ended up, I think it was 98 pages, something like that.
Okay.
So I had a lot more characters, a lot more scenes. I had to cut a lot of that out for the short film, which I'm hoping to bring back. There's been interest in an episodic for it, so hopefully I've been bringing those characters back for the episodic stuff. But it's interesting to have to get in the heads of all the different characters because they're always talking. So it's like, what did they want to react to what that person just said? And then the next one is, what do they want to react to what they just said? It's kind of just
you hear all these voices in your head all the time, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, now that you're I feel like you're kind of in a new season in a way. Like, you have graduated from high school. You just kind of finished your first year of college. I know that you went part-time because you were working on this film and doing some other things, but you really are kind of entering a new season of life where you're not really a kid anymore. Like, you're really entering adulthood. What are you learning right now in this season?
Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much. Just about life in general, I'm learning a lot, and of course with the entertainment business side of it also. But it's kind of crazy just because like a lot of people I know, a lot of people that actually graduated with me, your daughter Christiana, are like engaged and like having babies and like or going to college. Like, they're just so like, there's so many different stages of life that just people I know already are like in. So it's interesting to like see all those different parts and just kind of see like their side of things and how they feel about it and that kind of thing. So I'm learning so much about just life in general right now.
Well, I think, you're about to enter your 20s. I know you're not 20 yet, but I feel like that decade, the 20s, is really a decade of just exploration and figuring things out. And you're right. Everybody is kind of in a different season. I feel like when I was in that season, it was exciting and brand new, but in some ways it was also a little bit lonely because it was hard to figure out, your place, because like you said, like, there are people who are having babies and there are people who are getting married and there are people who are on like a fast track for career and there are people who stay in school and get their master's and get their doctorate. And so it's just all these things happening at once. And so trying to figure out kind of where you fit in is difficult.
It is for sure. And it's like, I just kind of, I'm like, all right, everyone do their thing. I'll just watch. I'll see what you guys are doing. I'll do my thing.
You'll take notes and write about it. That's what you'll do.
Exactly. One of the scenes in the short film is actually something that happened to one of my best friends.
Oh.
So that's how that made that in there. Yeah, she saw it, and she's seen the film, and she was like, hey. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, your friend's always like, you're not going to put this in one of your movie scripts, are you?
I know. And I would never put something that's like touchy for someone in there, but like if it's just something that's not like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. I'm also learning a lot about the entertainment business right now, which is because I've never, obviously, until I had the short film, I've never, done the film festival scene, except for once I did the 24-hour film race, and that's part of the Marietta International Film Festival, which my short film will actually be in this year in August. I think it's the 1st to the 4th is the film festival.
All right, I'm going to post links to those things. So when I post this on the blog, I'll post links to your upcoming film festivals and to I know you did like a little YouTube series when you were in high school. I'll post a link to that as well.
Okay.
And anything else that you want me to include.
Yeah, it has a website as well, which is all the film festivals and awards and everything is on that website, kind of cumulatively, and the trailers there and all that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm learning so much from just being in the film festival scene right now.
Well, when you think about the entertainment industry, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that wish that they could break into that industry. And I know that when you were younger, your family spent a lot of time in California and in Georgia. And Georgia is becoming it's a huge state for film. I mean, there's a lot going on here. And if you want to be in entertainment, this is a great place to be. Mm-hmm. What you're learning about it, is it exciting to you, and are you happy about what you're learning, or are you sort of like, are you disillusioned in any way? Is it like meeting all of your expectations, or have you been disappointed at all?
That's a good question. Of course, I'm excited to learn about all of it, and it's meeting expectations in a lot of ways. It's so cool to, meet all the other film people at these festivals and see their films and kind of like learn from what they're doing and be like, oh, that was like, their writing's really good on that, or oh, the direction looked really cool on that. It's kind of like, you can talk to them after and be like, I really like that you did this. And you can kind of talk to them, connect with them. There was one guy at the last film festival I went to in Florida, in the Fort Myers Film Festival, who did a full-length documentary on this priest who got murdered. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. It was an amazing film. Yeah, I don't think I can like share the film with you guys, but like it's really, really great. And it's just so amazing to like see other people's creations and things that are just so phenomenal. Like to be up there with them is great.
Yeah.
Of course, there are parts of the entertainment business that people are working on, I guess, that are coming to light now, mm-hmm. that weren't as much in the spotlight as in the past as it is now, but there still is, that level of harassment and all that kind of thing in the entertainment business, as I'm sure it's kind of going around right now, but yeah, so it's kind of interesting to like learn about that, just because that's coming out more now, and that's part of the entertainment business, and that's the kind of part it's like, I wish that didn't happen.
But one thing about you being a part of it is I feel like you get to be a ray of light in that world,
Yeah, I try. Yeah, I hope that's what I can do. I've been trying, and there are significantly few. I wrote a paper on this for school one time. There's significantly fewer females in the other side of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the direction, editing, cinematography, writing, that kind of side of it. It's mostly male dominated.
Okay.
So I kind of am glad that I get to kind of join that side and be like, hey, let me in, let me do it.
Yeah.
Because our director was obviously female, our editor was female, I'm obviously. So it was kind of fun to get to contribute to that as well. But it was great. But
so Sophia is kind of she's tiny but mighty. What are you, like 5'1" or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 foot and something.
I try.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
okay, let's move on.
That might mess up. Small. You know about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you have a big presence in the room, even though you're little.
Thank you.
All right, so let's move on to our third and last question. And I think this is always a fun one to really think about because, especially for you, like embarking on this new future, when you think about your aspirational self, the future you, what do you want to be known for? Like, who is Sophia Watson?
You know, the first response with that question literally is, I'd love to continue with acting and writing and have that be a part of who I am and be known as like, oh, the writer, or oh, the actress, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess more than that, I'd really like to be known as someone who made a difference and brought something to attention, and like it's just teaching people to be kind to each other, because part of the short film is very much about like regret, and like little things that you say and do to people can have extreme consequences, I guess, and just like you don't know what's going on in someone's life behind the scenes. You see what they want you to see.
Yeah.
And so if you say something to someone, you never know what's gonna happen because you said that. So it's just kind of watch what you're saying, be kind to people, and that kind of thing. So I'd really like to be known, I guess, overall as the person that tried to bring awareness to that.
Yeah, I love that. There was a quote that I read in a book a couple of weeks ago, and it was written by this priest that lives out in California. His name is Father Gregory Boyle, and he works with gang members out in Los Angeles. And there's this quote in his book, and it says, stand in awe of the burdens that people carry rather than in judgment of the way that they carry them. And I love that, because I think that kind of goes back to what you're saying as well. Like, we don't know what people are carrying. And so to judge the way that they do things or the way that they act or whatever, we don't know what's going on in their heart or what's happened to them. I think that's important to understand, and it does help us to be more kind overall.
It does, yeah. I think it does too. Yeah, that's kind of the most important thing, just, I guess, that I would want for someone to get out of the short film, or I guess for me to be known as, just kind of, be nice to people, be kind.
Yeah, I love that.
Be nice.
Be nice. How hard is that?
Be nice. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sophia. I'm so glad that you joined me today. And if you're watching this edition of Mission Driven Monday, I hope you'll join me again next week. We'll have another guest, and it'll be just as inspiring as always. Thanks.